have some good stuff in my pocket. Let's see how coffee beans are made. These were sent frozen from my friend's current cafe. Still a big bag. Let me take one out to have a look. It looks like this. Brown base. Fresh ones should have a red base. This may have changed color after freezing. The first step is to defrost them. Soaked in a full box of water. Used to thaw the coffee cherries and break them up. Pour them all in. You can see that as they thaw, some juice has sunk to the bottom. This indicates that these are good juices. Floating on the water surface are all relatively poor. They will all be discarded later. So many are now floating on the surface. That's because they haven't completely thawed. That's not right. It's been 20 minutes. There's so little juice that has sunk. Floating up. There are too many of these. Can't just throw them away. Collect them and see if they can be used, I guess. There are so few at the bottom. Maybe only 1/3. Not yet. Put them into separate trays. At first glance, there isn't much difference between the two. But look closely, there is. The skin of these good cherries is firmer. Do you see? While the skin of these floating ones looks shriveled. Let's cut open a good one first. Let's take a look at what it looks like inside. See? The coffee beans inside are very plump. They're cut perfectly in half. Let's cut one that's floating. Let's see. It just burst out. Look inside. No wonder it floated. The coffee beans are all wrinkled like this. Like they're rotten. The difference is obvious in comparison. Plump one. An empty bowl. Put them down, ready to peel. This step isn't too difficult. Pick it up and gently squeeze it. The beans come out. Just simple, repetitive work. First, peel these parchments off. Squeezed for 15 minutes. Not even half done yet. It's too hard on the fingers. Factories usually use machines to do this step. Otherwise, who could bear it? Looks like such a big pile. After I peel them, there's only a full bowl left. And a plate of good fruit. It's another simple and repetitive operation. Good ones are good. The feel is different when squeezing. My fingers are all numb. Finished in less than 2 hours. Their mucilage doesn't need to be washed and handled, so the sugar can be retained. Pour it into the tray and spread it evenly. Ready to remove moisture. There's more floating fat. Took 2 trays to fill them all. Then pour the orange pulp into the tray. Spread it evenly as well. There's really too little. This small tray isn't even full. It's better to spread them out a bit. Put them evenly in the dehydrator. The coffee beans are of relatively poor quality. Put them on the middle and bottom layers for drying. Open it in 3 days and then observe them for 7 days. Turn off the machine, open it and take a look. The color is deeper. They look golden yellow. Add some chili flakes, just like drunken peanuts. Look, they're all stuck together. Can't seem to knock them loose. Oh, go a little slower. Don't crush the beans. Sounds quite crunchy. I wonder what the moisture content is. Get ready to check with the moisture meter. First, pour in the coffee beans. Fill it up. Get the lid and put it on. Press down and it's done. Water content, 9.6%. This shows that the dehydration step was done perfectly. Now, put the 2 trays of slightly worse quality in one tray. A bunch of slightly worse quality and some top quality ones. Everything is ready. Put the cassette stove on the countertop. The side is quite dirty. Leftover from the last experiment, it doesn't affect use. Never mind it for now. First time doing this. Using these lower quality coffee beans first. And not too much to start. Pouring in half to practice. Spread them out evenly, so they heat up evenly. Turn on the portable stove for roasting. That is, dry heating without water or fat. The current temperature cannot exceed 130 degrees. Using low temperature to remove the remaining moisture in the coffee beans. Let it evaporate slowly. Don't rush. Take it slow to avoid mistakes. See? Feels a bit Chinese. The color is getting darker. Maillard reaction has occurred. Sugar and protein react. Produces hundreds of different flavor compounds. Continue to shake the pot and wait for the coffee beans to crack. The carbon dioxide and steam in the coffee beans will create pressure. That will make it burst. You can hear a crackling sound. Haven't heard it yet. Indicates that the heat is not enough. The smoking, but there's no sound yet. This isn't right, no good. Coffee beans shouldn't be this black. Let's stop for now. Let's check the smell. It doesn't smell right either. It's like it's burnt. Pick one out and check its appearance. Still looks whole. Let's break it open and see inside. Oh no! It's turned to crumbs. No way. It's burnt to a crisp. Oh my god. What a pity. This whole batch is ruined. Luckily, I had a backup. I had to spend a few hundred to buy a coffee roaster. This thing can rotate, can automatically stir, and it can precisely control the heating temperature via a knob. First, we need to preheat it. Turn on the switch. After waiting 10 minutes, we can start roasting. Pour the other half that was left over. Pour in all the slightly lower quality coffee beans. Just close the lid and wait. Look how great this is. It frees up my hands. I just need to adjust the temperature. Now the color of the beans has obviously become darker, and the change is relatively even. They all look about the same. It's entering the Maillard reaction again. It can bring out the aroma and flavor of the coffee beans themselves. Now it looks very dark on the outside. Is it still okay inside? It hasn't been long. It's already starting to smoke. Look what's on the lid of the pot. There's some yellow liquid. What the heck? Look, damn it, the yellow liquid on the lid affected the judgment. It wasn't until I opened it that I found the beans inside were all black. Is making coffee really this difficult? I have the last batch of good quality coffee beans left. This time I'll use the air fryer. I hope it works. First, set the temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Preheat for 3 minutes. Time's up. Put all of the remaining coffee beans in. Success or failure depends on this. All loaded. Shake it. Put it in and heat it for 4 minutes. Now, increase it to 325 Fahrenheit. Heat for 1 minute. Pull it out and check it's good. Looks fine so far. Put it back in. Increase the opportunity and set it to 375. Take it out in 2 minutes. Let's see. Okay, it's not burnt yet. No problem. Adjust to 400 and continue heating. I'll go get my dragon smoke. It looks like there's a lot of smoke. The emissary is fine. Everything inside is completely fine. Pour it all out now. Shake it. Let's give it another shot. Let it cool quickly. This looks much better this time. The outer skin might be a little burnt. The inside is actually fine. Rub it in my hands again. To remove the surface coating. Rubbing it by hand like this is really tiring. Put it in the jar. Like shaking dice. Rubbing against each other. Then the carbon black can be completely removed. Pour them out. See? This is a great result. Deep down. Now it smells like coffee. A little slower. Put them all into a glass jar. Put the lid on. Don't tighten it completely. Leave a gap. Carbon dioxide is produced during the roasting process. It will continue to be released from the coffee. This will make the aroma stronger. It should be left for at least 24 hours. I've waited 2 days. Let's pour it out and see the result. It's just like you bought it. Only this much. It should be enough for a cup. Pour it all into the coffee grinder. Put the lid on. Grind it into powder. Pour it into the coffee filter. Do it cleanly. Just do a pour-over directly. Simple and convenient. Use hot water to drizzle over the coffee grounds. Then you can slowly extract the coffee. It's all poured out. Wait a little while. The coffee grounds release carbon dioxide when they meet hot water. Allow the grounds to expand, absorbing the flavor compounds. Okay. Pour the black coffee into the beaker. Have a little taste. It tastes like coffee.